Ball is up there. You know what I mean?
Facts, facts. Salute to Mike Quick, man. Salute to Mike Quick, man.
Yeah, salute to Mike Quick, man. I thought I made it when I made it on High School Weekly back in the day.
What? Hold on. We gonna start the show jet off like this.
Oh,
Since my guy Flea, High School Weekly, full effect.
I thought I made it.
So it was called High School Weekly.
It was called High School Weekly.
Wow, that's crazy because I wasn't around when Mike Quick show. I knew about it,
and it came on. Do you do yours every Friday? Because I think this came on every Friday.
Every Friday.
It was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday.
Right, Cal? Every Friday.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And for some reason, I just like High School Basketball Weekly. I ain't want to be too dramatic. It's like, yo, let's just make it simple. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I think a huge plus in doing that is, specifically for the kids, the kids coming up in that are playing, the student athletes, it gives them a chance to, you know what I'm saying, start to do these kind of type of interviews and start to, work on your delivery, work on your pitch, and work on just talking to somebody, man. Early on I was doing a lot of young guys. And I was finding that they didn't have that
they didn't have the je ne sais quoi.
That conversational that I was used to. So it was more like pulling teeth a little bit, but you know what I'm saying, give the kids a chance to get that practice, man, and that's huge, man. Y'all had Brandon Stores on the other day, man. That was dope, man. You know what I'm saying? He's killing out there in the Catholic League. One of the best, one of the best players out there, and yeah, man, get them on there and start talking, man, and start getting them used to, being in front of the camera and stuff like that. So, salute.
All right, before we get any more, let me just play the intro so people know what's going on. All right, no doubt.
Finish your breakfast. Finish your breakfast.
No doubt. Hey, man, listen. It's been a minute, man, but I'm glad we rocking tonight, man. I'm glad we rocking tonight, and I definitely appreciate the love, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to keep my foot on the pedal. You know what I'm saying? And
yes, sir.
What I was saying too, right? Because
you're the hardest working man in the business. I wake up looking forward to a DM, something being tagged, I look forward to that.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Working man in the business, pool. So we gotta salute you, OG, for real.
Nah, appreciate it. And I want to bring more eyes to what we doing, right? Because I understand, I had to say to myself, right? I know I made a few posts to the page as well, but it's not as consistent as I want to be, because I realize, just like we all realize, that we have a lot on our plate alone, just dealing with our platform and then our life.
Right.
And I do want to, be able to
extra facts.
There you go. And I do want to be able to get more eyes on this. So if we all want to take turns, or we all want to flip it, and you know what I'm saying, just so we can get more eyes in this, I think it'll be real cool, just because of that fact. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't, as a team, we don't have nobody to drive it for us.
Right.
Because we driving our own car. So it's kind of hard to jump out of our whip, jump in this whip, start it up, and then jump in this whip and start it up. So, let's talk. That's something I think we should talk about, because I think these conversations, hella people will be coming in and chiming in, especially like tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I was just flipping through a few things, man. Again, I know we all live on YouTube, man, and I was watching this show, and they was just talking about, for a brief second, about which decade in the NBA was better, like which decades was better, right? You notice I just put 80s, 90s, and 2000s. I didn't even go to the 70s and 60s because I wasn't even watching basketball back then, and those were like the ancient years, right? Even though 80s is ancient, but for some people, but we all know those players, right? A lot of those players that came from the 80s, because a lot of them transitioned to the 90s. And then the 2000s, and what we have now is, it's crazy, but viewership ain't what it is, and people not locked in the way they used to be. So I don't know if that's an effect that's happening. Kids don't watch it like we came up watching, maybe because there wasn't so much to do, and we look forward to that. But I think it'll be something to discuss, man. So, whoever want to take over, man, Flea, maybe you want to start off, and then Cal, you come in and follow up behind it about, what decade you think was your favorite decade and which decade probably was better. Then we get into all of that.
Well, I think this is a great topic. I think we'll all have a difference of opinions in something like this. But for me, I always try to remind y'all that I'm a little younger than y'all.
Mm-hmm.
36. So I got a chance to watch a small portion of the 80s. Not really like lock in, but my dad was a basketball junkie, just like myself. So I grew up with nothing but books. I could go grab a book right now. Literally, the NBA encyclopedia is sitting right next to me, right? So, like, that's the stuff that I was like growing up reading and just cracking open. I would read the newspaper every day and scroll through the box scores. Kyle had mentioned you get the daily news, you go to the back of the daily news, and you look at the box scores and who did what and all of that kind of stuff. But like growing up through the 90s, like when that's basketball that I grew up on, like the 90s, that second iteration of the Chicago Bulls was when I really started like being invested into the game of basketball. The first NBA finals I remember sitting down watching was the 92 finals, Mike versus Clyde, Portland versus Chicago. That was the very, very first finals that I can remember sitting down and watching. So right, game one, like that is where it starts for me. So, I would be lying if I said any other decade was better, right? I'm a huge Kobe Bryant fan. Kobe's my favorite player of all time, but I enjoyed watching the 90s. The physicality of the game. Obviously, how we were as fans. It just seemed like a more genuine approach to loving the game of basketball. Not saying kids don't love it now, but you'd be surprised how many guys I talk to on my platform that tell me they didn't watch growing up. And that shit blows my mind. Like, you didn't watch basketball growing up? It's like, I just didn't watch it. I loved playing it, but I didn't watch it. So, watching the 90s, watching it, you wake up on Sunday, you get the doubleheader on Channel 4. Like we used to look forward. We used to look forward to that. You know what I'm saying?
The intro was fire.
You know what I'm saying?
The intro was fire. Getting you hyped.
Right now, I'm glad that you have access to all the games. Right, you get League Pass, and you could watch all the games. But back then, you had more of appreciation because you're going to get one game in the middle of the week on TNT or TBS, and then you're going to get them Sunday games, Cal. Knicks versus Bulls or Knicks versus Miami or Knicks versus Indiana is the first game, right?
It was a banger, too. It was a banger.
Right, and then you get your West Coast game. You get Phoenix and Seattle.
Right. And that's where my love for Seattle came.
You know what I'm saying? So because it was so limited, right? I could go inside right now, turn on League Pass, and I could watch 30 games, right? I mean, but that's cool. But back then, it felt so much more authentic to be able to look forward to just seeing 2 games on Sunday, and it felt like you was right there. The announcers was different. The commentating was different. The referee,
Albert.
Right, Marv, like
90s.
come on, you can't go wrong with Marv, right?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about the referees back then, the Steve Javies and the Tony brothers,
tough.
right? Like Tony is still around, right? Like all of the Hugh Hollings and all of these guys, right? Like I just felt more connected to the game during the 90s than I do now. Like I love the game now, but falling in love with the game and really seeing how they presented the NBA to us too. Like even how they packaged it up to us back in the day just felt like they cared a little more about the fan. All-Star games was different. You didn't have to ask them guys to be right. You got to ask these guys to be
slam dunk contest.
Everything. This is why I'll leave it at, Cal. I'm gonna give it to you. Everything. All-Star game, a regular game in February, a first game of the season in October. The playoffs was something that we look forward to. Like all this stuff, even the Olympics, right? Like everything seemed competitive. It never seemed like anybody was cheating the game back in the day. So that's why I really loved the 90s.
I gotta agree with you, man. For lack of better, reason here, like, the 80s is where I pretty much started my love of the sport, right? So, again, I love Magic Johnson, so going in the back of the newspaper, looking at the box scores, I used to really study those things, the percentages down to, how many steals somebody got and how many they averaging, how many they need to. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of establishing that love, the Detroit Pistons, the Bad Boys, you know what I'm saying, going up against Michael Jordan. That was epic. Watching old Kareem, still doing his thing out there with the goggles on. You know what I'm saying? This is epic.
Look old, Cal.
What happened?
They used to look old. Was it me?
They used to look old. Yeah, they used to look super old. Clyde Drexler was like 20-something. Balding and all of that. So, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, back in the day, the 70s and all that, everybody was looking 65 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like Jerry West and all of them was looking 65 years old back when they was 20-something. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's nothing like the 90s, man. 90s basketball, again, man, and it was crazy because I actually got a chance. I'm trying to actually set up a interview with Peter Vesey. Peter Vesey, man, was one of those dudes that was interviewing. I kind of looked up to him in a sense because
New York.
he would interview. Flea. I was just saying. I was lining up an interview with Peter Vesey.
New York. New York Post.
Yeah, absolutely. And back then, these guys were so intriguing, man. Having a conversation with Karl Malone about, about the game and things of that nature. Michael Jordan and the Ahmad Rashards of the world, Willow Bays, and just the whole feel of basketball, man. Waking up on Saturday morning, waiting until all the nonsense is finished so you can watch your inside stuff.
Oh, Cal, I'll give you to call it the inside stuff. Yo,
inside stuff was legendary.
Come on.
Yeah.
Definitely legendary.
Hannah Storm and
Hannah Storm, Willow Bay. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Willow Bay was a little earlier than
she's before. Storm. Yeah, she's before Hannah. Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Then I want to say, man, that social media, man, although, we love it, we on it right now, gift and a curse, but I think it's to blame for a lot of the disconnect, right? Like there's too much access to everything within, the palm of your hand, pause. And we just, have access to too much stuff. Like you just mentioned, you could go on League Pass and watch any game you want right now. If you want to watch, Milwaukee versus Minnesota, whoever, you could watch whatever you want, whenever you want. So, but before it was like, yo, there's a game at 8. You know what I'm saying? It's coming on at 8 o'clock. You gathering with your friends. You gathering all your refreshments. You getting everything situated.
Get the VCR ready.
Facts. The VCR, you stuffing the little thing so you could record on it and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Taping it like the hip hop back in the days.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But making sure you go to the store to get your VHS blanks and all types of stuff. So, and then after even during the game, right? Like you're talking your trash and you're actually knowing where the ball is gonna go to in the clutch, man. Michael Jordan's gonna get the ball, he gonna do a turnaround, and that's gonna be that. And lo and behold, that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? It's just magic. It's magical, man. It was a magical time. Not only the basketball, but the entire culture, man. Down from the sneakers. You know what I'm saying? We had the Scottie Pippins, the Tim Duncans. Everybody had Barclays, everybody had
everybody had
it was just crazy, man. It was crazy. And even LeBron right now, right? LeBron has his own sneaker since day one, right? But
ain't nobody wearing them like that. No.
I don't think it had the same effect, man.
Nobody's wearing them like that. No, none of the kids I know in my school is rocking LeBrons. They're still rocking Jordans. They rocking the Kyries.
That's a fact,
KD
man.
was hot for a minute and then kind of came and went.
Right.
Kyle, think about this real fast. Right now, a kid that you run into, or a kid that's at Pool's school, or my son, their favorite player, they could go send a message to right now. If they want to send a message to a player.
Right. That kind of takes away from the aura. Like a lot of people say, yo, when Mike came through, he was glowing. You know what I'm saying? That's because there was no access to Mike.
Y'all remember The Last Dragon?
Oh, yeah. Facts.
You remember when Bruce Lee, when he had that glow? Like,
I saw it 5 times. I went to the movie 5 times. No, 6 times. I went to the movie. I went to the movie 6 times to go see it.
That's dope. Nah, that's dope, Pooh. To be able to go to see, like I told you, I'm a little younger, so I appreciate when y'all hit me with stuff that's like. So you went to the movies.
I went to the movies 6 times with 6 different groups of friends.
That's
to go watch it.
Yo, that's like a classic. So when he had that glow, like I imagine people that ever walked by or ran into Michael Jordan, like aesthetically that might feel like that. How we was looking at Leroy when he was going through that scene in the movie.
It happened it happened in the 75, right? When they had the 75 and everybody was there, everybody was on the floor. Mike comes out last. And the arena explodes. Like the arena just erupts. Because even the players that was there was just like, they said when Mike walked in, he changed the air. He changed what people was even talking about when he walked in to the arena.
And you know what was absolutely crazy for the culture, man, was those tapes, those VHS tapes that used to come out, Michael Jordan's Playground,
Come Home With Me.
Come home, facts.
Yeah, all the Red Air and all of those
Up There, all of that shit.
Yeah, right. All of those tapes, man. You know what I'm saying? It used to be crazy. Like, yo, you got it? Oh, yo, I'm coming over. Everybody used to go, you know what I'm saying, go over to wherever the tape was being played. It was just a different time, man. And social media, it really isolates people to, oh, yo, I want to watch, Come Home With Me. I mean, whatever, Michael Jordan's Playground. All right, I'm gonna pull it up on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull it up right now. Like I'm by myself. Kids are not really showing that. You know what I'm saying? Showing that passion for the tape coming out and studying the game. And I may be wrong, man, but that's I'm saying. I may be biased.
I think you're hitting it. No, I think you're hitting it right on the head because. All 3 of us unanimously feel the same thing about the 90s, right?
Yeah.
And you guys already tapped into all the reasons why we all love the 90s. Like, I agree with both, and I'm not going to repeat the same thing because those are the same reasons why I love the 90s, right? But the detriment of all of that, right, was too much access. But even before we had social media, right, we had that that horrible time. It was like the 99 or 98 to like
03 to 03
to like 03 to LeBron came, right? It was that was like the dry spell.
Yeah.
It was like the dry spell.
They needed somebody. Yeah, they needed somebody.
And I think this is when you start. Look, I love LeBron, but this is a really manufactured thing that we all caught on to, right?
Right.
He went to Cleveland. He was from Ohio. He went to Cleveland, right? They had to make sure that the Midwest and the middle of America get a star, which is rightfully so. He lived up to the hype, beyond the hype. So it's not even on LeBron. But I think the more money you start to put into anything, the more money, the more access that people have, the quality goes down, right? We don't even have the stars that we have today that we had in yesteryear, right? The star power, the star quality, they're not having so much access. You know, a guy like Charles Barkley was a superstar, right? Akeem Olajuwon was a superstar, right? Now they're telling us who our stars are, right? Even though they told us back then it was, you know, the Magics and Birds and Jordans, there was still a 10 or 12, maybe 20 dudes who we could consider a superstar back then in the era. It was like, yo, you know, Mitch Richmond, we all know on a given night, he's not on that superstar status, but you couldn't tell nobody that on the West Coast.
Could you say, yo,
right.
Ooh, could you say that again? Because I think what you just said was like super important. Right now, they're telling us
yes
who the stars are.
Yes.
Back then, we knew who the superstars were. I think that's like, in a nutshell, that's exactly what it is in today's game. Again, we still love the game, so I'm gonna still watch, I'm gonna still support, and you know, I'm still gonna be invested. But what you just said right there is like super duper important. They are telling us Ja Morant is a superstar, and this is not a shot at Ja, but Ja Morant is a superstar. Devin Booker is a superstar. Paul George, they're telling us that. But when we were growing up, we watched that Michael was the superstar. Patrick Ewing was the superstar. Even Scottie Pippen. We could say what we want, but Scottie Pippen had the superstar allure back then, and nobody could tell us that he was great. Like that. That's something. That's
what games come on NBC or ABC? Are they still games on Sunday?
It's games all anytime you want.
No, I get it because the streaming. I get it because the streaming. But is there like a focus? Is there a game where everybody's like, you know what, this is the game we watch?
They still have games, you know, coming on, you know, Sunday. You know what I'm saying? The early games, the early Knick games, they used to come on, man.
Oh man, right.
The matinee
at noon, right after you get home from church or whatever you got going on Sunday morning. You come home and the Knick game is on Channel 4. So some people didn't even need cable. You got Channel 4, you good.
Fact. Right. right.
You watch all our away games on Channel 9 back in the days.
Yep.
Right. It was a different time, man. It was a different. And I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it, but the physicality of the game, man, changed tremendously. Like I'm not an advocate of, you know, a bad boy Detroit Pistons just trying to flagrantly foul somebody either, right? Like I'm just talking about, where guys like Patrick Ewing and Akeem Olajuwon really went to war. You know what I'm saying? And there had to be one man left standing. You know what I'm saying? Like Shaquille O'Neal early on when he came into the league. Him facing Chicago Bulls, one man left standing. You know what I'm saying? So the physicality of the game, man, just changed tremendously. And now you can't even really touch a player. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a foul. You know what I'm saying?
Or you can play a zone. There's no guy in the middle.
It's crazy.
There's nobody in the middle that's clogging up the hole to where you really got to be on your game to score. It's so free and wide open. And
now that's where all the points come from. That's where all of the 70 points and the 85 points and all everybody holding up the Wilt Chamberlain shit. But everybody hold. If I see another Wilt Chamberlain, man, I saw one the other day with 39 points, bro. Like, come on, man.
It's crazy because, you know, people don't really realize how great Michael was and how great Kobe Bryant was. And I'm just talking about those guys because what they had to do to score the basketball on such a high level in terms of what Pooh was talking about, having your big just camp out in the lane. He didn't have to move him. You could throw your big in the lane and he's clogging the paint. Nobody and he's just patrolling the paint. Nobody is coming into the paint, and the type of defenses they had, put your hands on you, force you a certain way, guide you a certain way, all that kind of stuff. And this guy Jordan had 10 scoring titles, averaged 35 plus for 3 straight years. You know,
without shooting threes.
Without shooting threes.
Right,
you know, and then we get this dude Kobe Bryant who does something similar again with the same kind of defenses, right? This stuff didn't change till recently, last 10 years, 15 years. But this dude was able to score 35 a game. In the paint, you can't even get in the paint. And if you're getting into the paint, you can't kill. Like it was such a different game. And I don't think when we make all of these lists, people do all these lists and pull these guys here and there and talk about greatest scorers of all time. Like it was a different way to score back then. You put these guys in this era today, Pooh, Cal, these guys, and it's not no joke. Like these guys are average 40, right? Like easily.
I mean, you got your handful of guys that, you know what I'm saying, that would probably, you know, be okay in that era. You got your, you know, first and foremost, you got your Steph Currys, which I think is you know, if not the best point guard, I'm always going to say Magic Johnson is the best point guard that ever played the game. But a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, with him, with Steph Curry scoring, they're putting him in that place. You know, he's a terrific talent, you know what I'm saying, and he definitely would fare well in that era. But you know, you got your guys, you got KD, which is you know.
Hold on, Cal. Hold on, Paul. Let's go back to Steph Curry.
Yeah.
What is Steph Curry known for?
That 3.
Okay, who is he making better? Let's be honest.
I think he's making the team. He's making the record better. So the team. I mean, he's making.
What I'm saying is, who is he getting the ball to?
I would say this, Pooh. I would say that.
Now, I think he's a great player.
Let's talk about this.
He's not a point guard.
I agree with that. He's not a prototypical.
He's just playing the point guard position who puts up a lot of shots.
But
he makes them, but he's more of a scorer.
But I think that, and this is just for me, I told y'all when I really started getting invested into the NBA game, I can't remember, maybe Michael, but Michael would be the exception. Can't remember another time where defenses reacted to a player the way that they react to Steph Curry. Like
I remember when.
Because of what though?
No, but I can't remember another player. Like
I'll tell you right now, AI.
Allen, okay, Allen.
AI. Who was AI getting better on Philly? You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm just saying.
Much respect to AI.
We can't compare him.
One of the GOATs.
We can't compare him to Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas. These dudes was, you know, they can score, but they also can dish and make everybody else. They do it in a way to where they're so dangerous, like you have to play the other dudes, right? Which is awesome. But that's more of a scorer's mentality than being an actual point guard. He just plays the position. There's
a difference though, right? There's a difference. You can have it's still a point guard, right? It's still a point guard.
Yeah.
So what is it? Is he a point guard or is he not a point guard? Like, so now
I always looked at him as a shooting guard. I'm gonna be honest.
Me too. I've had countless arguments with my.
He passed the ball only to get it back and shoot it.
But he's like a baby Reggie Miller in a point guard size.
Just imagine Reggie Miller playing a point.
But here's my thing: so many guys are open. That's what I meant about the defenses reacting. How was he getting anybody better? Draymond Green ain't never seen so many open shots in his life. I'm talking about in the early stages of that Golden State run. Like so many guys got so many open looks because
that's true.
5 people, including the coach, was worried about Steph Curry. And so now
that is true.
You know, Clay gets the type of shots he gets. Draymond gets the type of shots he gets. Iggy, Sean Livingston, all of these, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Durant, like all of these guys get opportunities to get the second or third or fourth worst defender on that team because most of the time you want to worry about what Steph is doing. So
because of being a scoring threat.
No, that's
But,
yeah. I
but
agree.
let me
1,000.
right. He was bringing the ball up as well. So you know what I'm saying, like in terms
Only
of,
to pass it and get it back.
Yeah, but that's too many stipulations. I feel like
No, I'm just saying. Okay, so and this is my thing with the true point guard, right? We talk about true point guards, right? Somebody who get you some buckets, but also they're gonna average. How many assists does he average?
Like 8.
About 7,
7, 6, maybe 6 to 8 assists. You know what I'm saying? Which is a fair amount of assists.
Yeah.
Nah,
that is
point guard.
Right.
But in comparison to a Chris Paul, Stockton, I'm talking about like prototypical point guards.
Yeah,
right?
he averaged 6.4 for his career.
Right. Or at least 6, at least.
That's
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like what you want. what you want. He's getting obviously he's getting players better by average, you know what I'm saying? Like how many assists what's the name average? Chris Paul for his career.
At least 9.
9?
At least. I would say at least 9.
Nah, I don't know about 9. 9, you say? You say 9?
For his career?
You're right.
We got
9.4.
Yeah, I would say 9.
Yeah.
Or you got or like say you got your Damian Lillards that are out now. I'm sure they're not averaging what Steph Curry was averaging in terms of assists.
No, because they're more the new point guard, right? And what happens, right? You bring in that point guard, there's no big man. Get what I'm saying? Like who's the bigs right now? They totally took the masculine man out of the game.
I think
I'm not saying that other dudes ain't masculine. I'm not gonna say like all of them.
I almost wanted to say pause on that, boy. We're gonna let that rock.
Yeah, my bad. My pause, but it's just like who? No, they took the bruiser out of the game.
Yeah.
And
now David Stern wanted more scoring.
You used to be able to get a job in the NBA by just being able to defend and fuck a nigga up. Like you used to be able to get a job in the league by just being able to rebound, defend, and use your 6 fouls.
Now, do you think let's think about this, fam. The other day, watching Ross Strickland on another show, and he was saying how they pointed out how when he was doing the Euro step, they was calling a walk on him, right? And you know why they call it the Euro step, right? Because when Mano came, he made it famous, and everybody just thought it was the Euro step, which dudes was doing that for years. We was doing that on the court, not knowing we were doing it. We was, how many times you go this way slow and then you change direction to take that next step. We was doing that back in the days. So, and with bringing in, all these Europeans, we, the dominant culture who's on the court, trust me, fam, all of this is a plan. And I want to take this down the conspiracy road, but that's how I see life. And you think they're doing it to improve the game. No, they're not. They're doing it for a certain group. All right, fanfare. These, people who just, they come to their fans, but they're more fanatic.
They said Elgin Baylor brought that to the league.
But we gotta have an episode strictly where you go over your top 3 conspiracy theories for the NBA.
I have way more than that. Like
I know you do. That's why I said
two brought me on the show because I saw this dude on 2 show. He was briefly. I was like, oh, damn, he talking. I want to talk, and I'm at the job. I didn't usually tap in when I'm at work, nigga. I'm at work. And I tapped it.
Right.
And this dude, he's one of those dudes who just watch a lot of videos, right? Salute to him. But I had to let him know, like, your fam, you got to come with more fact. And even 2 was telling him, you just can't go, yo, let me get this video. Oh, this video said this, or this video. And that's what he was doing. So me and 2 was just like, what do you know? Like, what can you say that you saw play out and you said, nah, this was fishy. This is not the same. And my whole thing started when I told you when I was in high school, and I go back to the episode I did on my show about playing for the mob, right?
Yeah.
And the guy who was in the mob kind of explained to me how sports really work. And me as a youngster, I didn't want to hear none of that because I'm like, it's no way it's like that. And then the older you get, and you like, oh, wow, this is why sports betting is so popular. This is why, there's so much money. There's so much, they're throwing money at these dudes, right? You hear the guy, Haslam is saying that, like, yo, these dudes is soft. They don't want to play. Garnett, all these dudes, all of these dudes who was playing back then, especially the 90 era, early 2000s, like, yo, these guys don't want to play. They had to put in a rule that you got to play 65 games because dude's chilling. Y'all got my 200 mil. The guy on the bench, he not even a superstar. He getting 200 mil. 150 mil. Like, what?
The name of the game. That's the name of the game right now. They throwing that money around, man.
Ben Simmons comes to the games fly. And he be fly.
He don't even score any points. My guy said, yo, he placed a bet that Ben Simmons would score 6 points.
I did too. And he scored nothing.
He scored 0.
Word. I did that before too, and I was like, oh man, this dude can't even give me 5 points. Come on, bro. Like, yo.
I ain't even got you for double digits, just 6.
Right, like, come on, brother. Like, you 6'10" with handle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and this is
really disappointing.
This is a great segue. This is a great segue to one I wanted to touch on because, hold on for a sec. Let me see if I can get this in here. This is a great segue to what I wanted to kind of touch on. Yeah. Boom. This is a great segue. Where Flea go? Oh man, I think I cut Flea out when I go to the damn it. All right.
He'll jump back in.
Yeah, Flea, come back in, Flea, come back in.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. Yo, my bad, Flea. I'll hold on, I'll get him back in before I'm gonna share this real quick and then we can talk about it. Check it out.
Could this be the beginning of the end for the NCAA? Earlier today, the National Labor Relations Board ruled that Dartmouth basketball players were considered school employees, clearing a way for an election that would lead to the first ever labor union for NCAA athletes. Unionizing would allow players to negotiate over not only salary, but working conditions, including practice hours and travel. And if it were to be adopted across the NCAA, this could mean college athletes could negotiate CBAs with TV networks, giving them a share of revenue. While today was a huge win for college athletes, could this lead to the end of the NCAA? For more, follow Bailey Jackson Sports.
Yo,
that's crazy. But
okay,
I'm more disappointed. I mean, I'm all for people to go get their money, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now is a great time for the student athlete. You know what I'm saying? Even from back when Charles O'Bannon and Ed O'Bannon were fighting for this stuff, like for their name and likeness to, they could get paid for the video game that they were on. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a long time coming, and I'm all for it. But I think it just waters down the game, man. It just really takes away from the real, the true essence of the competition. And it's sad, man. It's sad we here, and I don't even really know what to say about it, man, other than it being a messed up way to go about, competing and trying to get our student athletes to compete. And what's even worse is the fact that they did this, right? They did this. The fact of what they did to players like, say, Isaiah Washington, who couldn't get money from a college or whatever, the endorsements and all of that. And then a couple years later, y'all introduced this thing, and y'all doing the same. They doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
You know who sent it to me? Speaking of that, you know who sent it to me early this morning?
Who that?
Book.
Yeah. I spoke to Book about that a couple times, man. Book is a good dude, man.
You get what I'm saying? So again, here's my theory. This is what I always said, especially about sports today. This is purposely done, right? They keep the transfer portal in there so that'll keep more high school kids from getting a free education. All of this stuff is purposely done. When we think it's, how can I say? When we think it's being progressive, they're really breaking it. They're really breaking it apart. They're really breaking it apart. It's the same way when we had the women's movement back in the 70s, right? I'm with women's lib and the progressive of women, right? But you know what that did? That took the women out of the household and them away from their children, right? I took another parent out of the household and away from their children. And I read this book called Second Family one time, back when I was reading books in the 90s. That's another issue. But it says a parent spends on an average 11 minutes a day with their child. Now, if you got a child, right, Cal? If you sat down to kind of calculate on an average how much time you actually get to spend with your child, and it's not, I'm not blaming this on parents. Man, they got us all on this wheel, on this hamster wheel. By the time we actually finish and get stuff done, it's eating or probably doing some homework and off to bed and start it all over again.
Yeah, that's the way it is right now. And for me, man, like even with this basketball thing, right? The platform that I built, like sometimes even, I think about going to the, because I was going to a lot of games, man. I was going to any game that was going on, I was there. But as my child started getting older, I started to kind of want to spend more time at home. You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely understand what you're saying in terms of not having, not, taking that parent away and spending less and less time at home. It's unfortunate, but you know what I'm saying? Like, where are we going with this? You know what I'm saying? Like, how?
I'm telling you, they are driving this thing in the gutter. You got to understand, everything is on a reset right now. So they bought it up, and they got their money. Now it's like, when it's time to do y'all, let's slowly pull this sheet from in front of y'all. When it's time for us to get to retirement age, they want to make sure that there's, they don't have to give us back what we put in. And I know I'm taking the conversation somewhere else, but she said, is this the end of the NCAA? She didn't say, oh, wow, this is great for kids, right? Because once you start to label kids workers, right? Because the NCAA came with this definition of amateurism, because, people used to get paid back in the day for playing college football. They used to actually get paid. Some schools used to pay some players.
Right.
And then the head of the NCAA back then was like, nah, this is amateurism. And that's what birthed people not getting paid.
And just to think, man, like, say for instance, you had players like, Ray Allen and Iverson walking around, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't get, you remember when that whole, that even, or like, say for instance, like a LeBron James, when he got that Hummer and they invested in, they investigated into the Hummer and where did you get it from and all that. Now these kids could buy their own Hummer and, you know what I'm saying, and keep it moving. So
yeah, but
it's crazy,
away from the hunger, that takes away from the drive. They know, they have studied us so much. The more money you put into anything, you can look at it in hip hop, you can look at it in fashion, you can look at it in anything.
Right.
The more money that they put into something, the less exclusive, the less the quality of it goes down.
Right.
Kids are
And
watching basketball. The kids in my school watch highlights. They don't watch the game.
right. And just to kind of, I know I'm going everywhere with this,
I know
but
it's all good.
in terms of what you said before, man, with the players, you know, it's a different time, man. It's a different time, and although we want people to get paid, we want people to have NIL deals, and the mom and pop shop, go to the local high school, and you know what I'm saying, give the players some money, man, because the players didn't have anything a little while ago. Players was you could have been as nice as AI and really like having to hide. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you better not show that you got no money because that might be a violation, or whatever the case may be, and you risking your entire, not only your career, you know what I'm saying, but you could risk your freedom and all types of stuff, man, back in them days. But it's real ugly, man, where they taking it, man, and we're
Yo,
gonna
my
see where it
OG,
goes. But
yeah, my OG, Spice Gilpatrick, he played with me at Lincoln. Went to St. Peter's. Him and Kenny
right,
Parker go to St. Peter's. One day he's hungry. He goes to the coach, tell the coach he's hungry. Can he get a few dollars to get something to eat? He couldn't believe that.
violation.
No, the coach said I can't do it because there will be a violation. That's what ended his college career. He left a Division I program and a full scholarship to go to the streets because he was hungry and he couldn't eat. Yo, bro, let me tell you. Say it on air. It's whatever. When we used to be in Fairleigh Dickinson, they had a path mark up the block from us. It was an 18-hour path mark. It was 24 hours. So at like around 11 o'clock, 11:30. No, it wasn't 24 hours. Let me stop. I think it closed about 12 o'clock. It stayed open late. Let me just say that. So after about 10 o'clock, no one is in there. No one.
Right,
They got one person on the register, a couple of people in the stocks. 18 hours. We used to just go there and buy bread. Trust me.
Hey, man.
You
I
get what
already
I'm
know.
saying? Dudes is hitting up the bookstore to get books and resell them, and it forced you to do so much because that 3 meal a day, you catch it, after you finish running around and going to classes, you have dinner and then you go into classes after that. You come home, you still hungry. Ain't no food in there. You can't really just stack up and take a whole bunch of stuff out of the calf unless you have some juice.
Yeah, it was ugly for the student athlete, man. So I'm glad they're able to be compensated in some way for their for the work that they putting in. But in terms of and everything got its positives and negatives, right? You got your you don't want to be jerked around, pause, by these administrators. So maybe a union in this given time, and time in the game is good, in a way. You know what I'm saying? So that you won't be like, but all of that, like you setting up the time and the practice, and people, you getting too much money. I ain't even going to practice. I'm getting too much money, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a gift and a curse, man. It's like anything else. I'm just sit back and watch the show and wait to see how the chips fall.
Listen, we came a long way from those days, from guys not getting paid. But
Right.
the same thing with anything else. The more money you put into it, the less quality. And the quality goes down. It literally goes down. Yo, Cal, I was a huge fan of football and basketball, especially basketball. It's so hard for me to watch the games. Like, thank God I could still watch some college games. I don't catch as many as I should.
Right.
But I know that it's a little bit different from the pro aspect of it. I think is that it's so many colleges that it's going to take some time for that to kind of water down, because there's so many that you got to kind of pay attention to and kind of throw water on. So, you know, you get the main ones. This is why last year, the Final Four, right? What was the Final Four? You know, the Final Four was last year. Who was the Final Four last year?
Man,
That's
I don't even
crazy.
remember. I don't remember right now. Off the
Final
top of my
Four
head.
last year. Final Four last year was Miami, UConn, Florida
I know
Atlantic.
UConn took it, right?
Yes, Florida Atlantic and San Diego State. I'm gonna say that again. Miami, which my guy Eric Brown from Boys and Girls High School, he put their basketball team on the map. He was the one, even it was a football team. He was there when Michael Irvin and them was there, right? But he put their basketball team on the map. But they still weren't that good, right? For some years. But then you got UConn, which has been steady. Florida Atlantic, never been. San Diego State.
Right.
Who are these guys?
That's where what's his name? Kawhi went.
Right, but we didn't think about it, bro. Kawhi ain't lead his team to no Final Four, no Sweet 16.
Right.
He did work. We knew about him, but for them to have 3 teams in the Final Four that never been there before, it's saying a lot.
Yeah, it does say a lot, man. It says that, you know, this is anyone's league. Anyone can, you know, anything can happen. You can be on your living room, in your living room, next day you in the Final Four. You know what I'm saying? So anything is possible.
Transfer portal, which I think that's the positive for transfer portal. But what happens? The transfer portal happens now. A lot of us are having a hard time.
My thing with the transfer portal is, you know, these kids are they're not showing that resilience. They're not showing that, you know, that determination to get past adversity. You know what I'm saying? As soon as they face some kind of adversity, it's like, yo, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not starting. All right, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, although, you know, dudes was leaving before because of things like that, minutes and things like that, but you know, the adversity
dudes is planning
part,
before they even get there. They like, yo, I'm going here. I'm a kill, and then I'm out.
Right.
I'm not building anything. I'm going to this D2 school, maybe. I'm gonna go put up like 30, then transfer to a dude's I'm gonna go to this low major, and I'm gonna kill and go to a big time school.
Right. That was it. But now it's like, yo, coaches recruiting, you know, a dude around my height, you know, my position. Oh no, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Instead of staying and fighting for that position, for that spot. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, what you gonna do, man? They got, you know, you can't really force a kid to stay at a spot, but it's like, yo, where's the fight at, man? Yo, this dude ain't coming to take my spot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to keep this spot.
Facts. And look, the live periods now. The live periods for NCAA is changed. Right. It's changed because of the transfer portal. That has changed, right? Yeah. So you get August. Hold on, dead periods. Hold on, that's the dead period. Quiet period, evaluation. April through April 19th to the 21st, April 26th to the 28th, right? And then June 21st to 20. It's different periods, right? But it pushed it back because no more live periods in March.
Right. Paul, you know what I really despise, you know, of the game right now is like these, you know, a big thing is these shoe companies, man. And I'm not gonna mention anyone, by name, but in terms of like kids only being able to play for a certain school, a certain brand, and this is it. They on the same circuit, so I can't go over there. I can't. It's like, come on, man. These are kids. We trying to have the best versus the best, and y'all making it very difficult, man. When the best can't play against the best because they wear different sneakers.
Yo, the first time I heard that, this is the truth. Tiny was at Nazareth. He was in the A division, right? And I asked him, why don't he move to the AA at the time? He was saying, because they don't want me to play. It was about going against another Nike school that was in that bracket, right?
Right.
And I just didn't understand that. He broke it down, but that's where this where it's all going. It's there right now because it's going corporate, and they're gonna it's gonna be a corporateocracy, as they would call it, right? Fascism, where corporations will rule. We have that right now, where the league that Cooper Flaggenham is in is a sneaker brand league.
Right.
It's a whole, you know that, right?
Yeah, of course. So it's sad, man. It's sad. That's really watering down the leagues, watering down the competition, and we just want the best to play the best, man. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards was playing in high school, and I just wanted him to. He was on that Under Armour circuit, and that's when I kind of learned about the different sneaker companies and why they can't play against this school. It's like, they play on a different circuit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. This is crazy. You know what I mean?
Man, listen.
What you gonna do though, man?
Right. This is what I'm saying. Like, this is where we at. I just throw some great topics, some great discussions. But for what just happened, because I didn't know that could happen. I didn't know if I put that up there, Flea would get kicked out, right? Because as you can see,
yeah. Nah, I don't know what happened.
No, because it says when I bring it up, only two. Well,
it said only 2 people could view at a time.
No, it didn't say anything. It just bumped him out. So I don't know if he left or he got bumped out. But anyway, I really think that if you want to do it some days, because we got the channel that we're constantly on, or if 2 want to do it some days. I think this would be awesome because at least we know we'll have eyes on it and people will be involved, right? And then we can do certain things like play certain videos. We can put up certain pictures. We're very limited to here, and to be paying for another account that I'm not really pushing that much is kind of crazy.
Right. Let's do what we could do, man, with what we got. So.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's logged in, that's kind of, that's watching, continue to support us, man. We appreciate all the support.
Yeah.
Thank you, individually and collectively. I really appreciate all of the support out there that the community has kind of wrapped their arms around us and embraced us. And so for that, we're just gonna keep on, pumping out this content. Getting the like-minded basketball junkies together, and let the chips fall where they may, man, and create some history here, with our guys. So salute to everybody out there.
We appreciate the love and support. Again, subscribe to the channel, share the content, and tap into all things hoops. Gotta check out that Legends Talk, the red carpet of basketball podcast. So definitely check it out. You can have that, Cal. That's for you. I just threw you an alley-oop. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, the red carpet, I'll take it.
There you go. Check out Basketball Heads, man. The official home for New York City basketball. Check out High School Weekly. We doing it for the city, man. Definitely.
We doing it for the city, man. We love what we do, man, and we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't. So salute to everybody out there.
Salute, Cal. I'm gonna holler at you.
Cool.
Peace. No doubt. We're gonna go the outro way, man. Let's do it.
Finish your breakfast. Finish your breakfast.